Hey guys, it's Kayla. Welcome to On the Fritz, where we talk about books in a hot mess fashion. Today I am coming at you, finally, with my Summer Fling Readathon for the month of August. So the Summer Fling Readathon is a romance readathon going all through August. There are 12 prompts, there are some live shows, there are fun things happening. So whether you are a current romance reader or you're new to romance and you're interested, you are more than welcome to join. Information down below. So I picked a book for all of the prompts except for one, and there's a lot of these that I can double up on. So depending on my mood reading, there's options for me to stack up because it is the 6th of August and I'm just now filming my TBR and I haven't read anything yet. So I'll probably have to stack up knowing me. So for Down Home Country, I'm going to be reading The Texan's Reward by Jodi Thomas. This is the 4th and final book in her Wife Lottery series. This is an historical American Western, and it surrounds these girls that get abandoned on their way on a wagon trail to the west, and they find themselves in this small Texas town where there are many men but few ladies, and to get themselves out of jail, the sheriff puts all the eligible bachelors' names in a raffle drawing, and whoever's names are pulled have the option to marry one of the girls and then pay for their bail. It's really crazy, it's really fun, lots of high action. This 4th book follows 2 characters that have appeared in all 3 books. They're not any of the main characters, but they do get their HEA in this book. Follows a Texas Ranger and a younger gal who was raised in a brothel. So she always thought that she was going to be a brothel lady, but she was sent off to school. This is an age gap. So she kind of had a claim on him ever since she was like 13. She says, I'm gonna marry you one day. And so they've kind of just been like keeping tabs on each other. And going into this book, the heroine recently got hurt. And so she's kind of on her deathbed. And the Texas Ranger is on his way to go take care of her. So I'm not sure what else is gonna happen in this book. I'm kind of going in blind besides just knowing that information, but I love this series so much. This is by far my favorite series of Jodi Thomas's that I've read so far. Next up is Big City Life, and for this one I picked Silver Silence by Nalini Singh. This is the first book in the Trinity. It's the spin-off series for the Side Changing series, but it's kind of a continuation, but it's kind of a spin-off type thing. Most of these books, they take place in or around a big city, so I'm sure there's city living in this book. Side Changeling series is a paranormal romance series that follows Sais, who are futuristic humans that all have different psychic abilities, and Changelings are animal shapeshifters that can shapeshift, and the Sais are very cold and don't show emotion a lot. They were taught to suppress feelings in order to have fuller control over their psychic abilities. And the Changelings are on the complete opposite side of the spectrum. They're very touchy-feely, they show emotion, and most of the books in the series, the relationships are between a Sai and a Changeling. For Author of Color, I picked The AI Who Loved Me by Alyssa Cole. I had this on my TBR for July, and I didn't get to it, as with 90% of the other books on my July TBR. I own this book as an ebook. This is like a sci-fi romance between a gal and an AI. For hot and spicy, I have Learn My Lesson by Katie Robert. This is book 2 in the Wicked Villains series. This is like a dark romance series, so all the things that come with dark romance are in these books. It's the series that is about like Disney characters, mostly villains, in a contemporary world getting their HEAs, and it kind of surrounds like a sex club, and there's different like, it's kind of mafia-like. There's different people that own different parts of the city. This one is about Meg, Hercules, and Hades, I think. So this is a menage romance, and I'm excited to continue on with the series. Definitely hot and spicy. Oh yeah. For Dark and Dangerous, I picked War by Laura Thalassa. This is book 2 in the Four Horsemen series. I think that's what it's called. So this is a paranormal fantasy romance about the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. They each are taking their turn coming to Earth and doing their thing. This is book 2, so this is War, and these paranormal beings fall in love with the little human. Yay. For Sweet and Clean, I have 2 picks here. So I put Engagement and Espionage by Penny Reid. This is book 1 in, I don't know what it's called, but it follows Cletus and Jen from the Winston Brothers series, one of the brothers and his love interests. They're getting their own like spin-off series that is like pitched as like a cozy mystery series. So what I've heard, I've never read a cozy mystery, but what I've heard is that cozy mysteries can have a romance in it, but it's normally pretty sweet and clean. And then from the reviews I've read from people already is that they're trying to solve this mystery. I think there's someone like stealing stuff or doing something, and these two find themselves in the middle of trying to figure out who done it, and that is preventing them from being intimate. And so I think there is intimacy like on the page, I'm assuming. But it is put off. I think it's like a slow burn because of the mystery aspect of this book. So it might not be 100% sweet and clean, but I think it is pretty sweet and clean compared to the rest of Penny Reid's books and to most books that I read. I also really wanted to read an Amish romance for the first time, so I went on Hoopla and I found An Amish Harvest by Patricia Davis. I don't remember what this, I think this one's about a widow. So I think this one involves an Amish widow helping the hero and then them falling in love. I know that there's a widow involved, so I'm excited to read my first Amish romance, and that one will definitely be sweet and clean. For Friends to Lovers, I picked Chasing Cassandra by Lisa Kleypas. This is the final book in the Readathon series, which I love so much. This is obviously Cassandra, and I picked this one as Friends to Lovers because the hero is kind of like a family friend. He's been in all the books, and so they've known each other for the span of years that the series has been going on for. And I think like them coming together is kind of a friends to lover situation where he's kind of like, hey, I'll marry you, or hey, I'll help you find someone to marry you. I think it's one of those two things, but it definitely gives me friends to lovers vibes. So this is a historical romance that follows, it's like a family saga, and this is the last one, and I'm so sad to be finishing it off, but here we are. For category romance, I picked The Billionaire's Bargain, by Naima Simone. Bree Hill recommended a reading category from Naima Simone, and I picked this book. So it is Billionaire. It takes place in Chicago, so this also fits for the big city prompt. So I just grabbed it, and then after reading the synopsis, I remember that I heard about this series on Fated Mates, I'm pretty sure. So there's like a blackout. So it's called like this is part of the Blackout Billionaire series. So there's a blackout that happens in Chicago, and then these two, I think they hook up in an elevator, And then once the lights come back on, they realize like they're mortal enemies, and then they have to kind of like deal with the fiery passion that's happened between them. So sounds amazing. Okay, so for disability rep, I have about 3 different choices. I'm all like on the first or second waiting list for all 3 of these books from my library, so I'm not sure which will come in and which I will pick up, but I have Never Seduce a Scot by Maya Banks. This is an historical romance, and this one features a deaf heroine, I believe. I have The Madness of Lord Ian Mackenzie by Jennifer Ashley, and this one features an autistic hero and like a widow heroine. Brief from In 11 Words, just read this recently and raved about it, so I'm excited for this one. And my final option is Romancing the Duke by Tessa Dare. This is book 1 in the Castles Ever After series, I think. And the hero in this one is blind, so one of those I shall read. For old school historical romance, I have The Bride by Julie Garwood. This is a book that I am doing a traveling book with some of my romance reading gal pals. So this book came from Jen over at the Book Refuge. This is her copy, and she has already read and annotated it beautifully. So it's my turn to read it and annotate it. I'm so excited. I've never done a traveling book before. I think this is a Highlander romance. I never read anything from Julie Garwood. This is, you know, a book that this author and book is like a classic in the historical romance community. So I'm so excited to read this and do it as a traveling book and read it during Summer Fling. For diversity, I have Destiny's Surrender by Beverly Jenkins. I own this book as an ebook. This is book 2 in the Destiny Ranch series, Destiny series, which follows 3 brothers. This is book 2, and it has the secret baby trope, and the heroine is a brothel gal, and I'm excited to continue on. I've loved everything I've read from Beverly Jenkins so far. And the last prompt, and the only one I did not pick a book for, is Road Trip. I'm not really in the mood for a road trip book just because I don't read a ton of contemporary romance. And so I'm hoping that there is going to be at least a large scene or a smaller plot point that involves traveling of some sort. Normally historical romances, there is a lot of traveling. So I'll twist it and make that one count somehow for this. Otherwise, I'll just leave it off. So that is my tentative TBR for the Summer Fling. I'm so excited. I've just finished catching up on Instagram posts. There is a prompt sheet for all 31 days of August. If you're over on Instagram and want to participate in posting during August, you're more than welcome to. The prompt sheet is down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be friends other places, my social media information's down below. There's a romance booktube watcher participator Discord channel down below. There's a link to other romance booktubers out there if you're wanting to see more from other romance booktubers in the booktube world. My social media links are down below. Did I say that? Closing so hard. Subscribe if you want to. I'm a hot mess and down to earth, but we're here for a good time, you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.